Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video I'm going to show you how to perform a USB BIOS flashback on this motherboard here. So this is the ASUS ROG Strix B650-A gaming Wi-Fi. Quite a mouthful, and I will say straight away, when you're doing these BIOS flashes, when you're looking up the BIOS for your system, make sure you get the name absolutely right, because on the market at the moment there are so many boards with very similar names. And also something else to be mindful of, if your motherboard or your whole PC has come from a kind of pre-built manufacturer such as iBuyPower, PC Specialist, etc., there is a strong possibility that they may actually have a custom BIOS installed on the board. So if you're watching this video and you're following the instructions as per how we're doing it, and for some reason your BIOS still won't flash, then do check with the manufacturer of your PC, again, if it's a pre-built, or if you've bought a second-hand motherboard, just check to make sure that it hasn't come from a kind of retail PC with a custom BIOS, because that can catch quite a few of us out. It was very common with ASUS boards back in the day for the B450 range, and some manufacturers still do it to this very day, so do bear that in mind. Now also, things to be considerate of, do you need to actually flash your BIOS? So realistically, the chances are you probably don't. For most motherboards and most processors, they generally will work straight out of the box. But if you're buying a slightly older motherboard, say for instance in this instance with a B650, and you're trying to put a newer Ryzen 9000 series processor on, potentially it may not have the BIOS updated to support that. Now you can find out if yours should be supported. Somewhere on the box you may find a sticker such as this one where it says Ryzen 9000 series desktop ready. Now that's fantastic. It means it has got a relatively modern BIOS, but if there's a processor which has come out on the 9000 series, which is newer than the BIOS which is on there, then potentially your system still won't work, or may work but not as intended to. So I would always suggest when you're building a new system, do a BIOS update straight away just to be on the safe side. Of course, you can do it in two different ways. There's the BIOS USB flashback, which we're doing on a bare board, or alternatively, if the system is already built up, you may be able to flash the BIOS from actually inside the BIOS already. That is on the caveat that the CPU is already supported. So if you just want to update your BIOS for the latest performance and also to support modern RAM, that kind of stuff, or maybe even for a security fix, then potentially you can do it just with the system from the BIOS itself. Otherwise, if you want to just do a BIOS flash just to make sure it's done, then you can follow along with the rest of the instructions in this video. Now, some of the things you're going to need, obviously you'll need the motherboard itself, something to actually put it on. Obviously if it's in a PC fully built, that's fine as well, you can do it that way. I'm just going to use this box to support the motherboard, that's absolutely fine. Also, you will need a power supply. So we've got our SFX power supply here just to take up a little bit less space on the desktop. You will need two cables from your power supply, one of which is the main 24-pin power connector, which goes into the motherboard. And also you'll probably find on your power supply there's one which is marked up as CPU. Generally, this is a 4+4 or 8-pin connector, and this goes into the top of the connection on the motherboard, which we've probably seen from some B-roll we shot a little bit earlier. Other things you're going to be needing is access to a working PC, ideally on the Windows operating system, so you can download the BIOS from the ASUS website or whichever manufacturer it is. You'll also need a USB drive. Now this one here is a 32GB. These drives generally need to be formatted into the FAT32 file system, of which is difficult to do if you've got a larger drive. There are kind of ways around it, and different operating systems will support FAT32 with larger drives. But for simplicity's sake and for compatibility's sake, I would strongly suggest getting a 32GB drive or smaller. You can go as small as like a 64MB one if you can find one. The BIOS file we're going to be downloading and extracting is only 32MB in size, so you can get away with an absolutely tiny drive. Whether it be USB 2, whether it be USB 3, doesn't really make much difference. Some boards do have compatibility issues with certain drives, so it might be worth just having a couple of drives handy just in case if one for some reason doesn't seem to be reading. So I think that is pretty much it. With all that said, let's head over to the computer and we'll format our drive, get that prepared, and also I'll show you how to download and also rename the BIOS file. Okay, so we're on our Windows desktop and I've already got the website up for the BIOS. So this, as I said, ROG Strix B650-A gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. You can go to the ASUS website and find it. I'll try and put some links in the video description for you anyway. Potentially if you're outside of the UK region, you may get diverted to another one, but essentially just make sure you search for that one. Actually, on the motherboard website itself, if you go over to the support tab on the far side, although obviously this may change in future, so potentially just look for a support section. And we've got options here for various things, so frequently asked questions, manuals, documents, etc., drivers and tools. So for the BIOS updates, you want drivers and tools. And then you get two lots of tabs here, so drivers and tools and BIOS and firmware. So we're going to head over into the BIOS and firmware. Now on these boards, it's really difficult to tell which BIOS has actually been installed. So essentially I will go for the latest one. If for some reason you're on a motherboard which is a little bit older, then you might have to upgrade your BIOS in steps, in which case if you choose see all downloads, you can scroll through and see the versions which have been available. So as you can see on this particular board, there are quite a few because it's been around on the market for a little while now, a couple of years. So yeah, not too sure which one's on here. I'm assuming, being that mine has the sticker saying 9000 series ready, it's a relatively modern BIOS. So let's download the very latest BIOS of this particular one on the recording date today, which is the 6th of October 2025, and we've got one here which is a couple of months old, so that should be absolutely fine. So we'll click on download and we'll save this to our Windows desktop. It is actually a zipped file, so we will need to extract that. So that's finished, so we can close this window down and we can look at our file here. So if we right click and then we'll choose extract all to unzip the file, we'll choose the default location, which is going to be back to the desktop. And what we're going to want to do is actually rename the file. Now, if you're flashing your BIOS from within the BIOS, you've actually got access to the BIOS itself, so you can do it. You can leave the file name as it is. If you're wishing to do this via the USB flashback method on a system which is not working or needs flashing, then you do need to use the BIOS renamer file. So if we double click on this, you'll get this come up saying BIOS renamer. Basically what it's going to do, rename it to the right thing, and basically press any key to continue. So we'll do that, and as you can see, as if by magic, the BIOS has actually changed its name. So that's fantastic. So we know our BIOS is ready. So the next thing to do is to go ahead and prepare our USB drive. So let's go ahead and plug that into the computer now. So there is our drive installed, USB drive. So what we're going to want to do is actually format this drive, because I think there's actually a previous BIOS on there, one from an MSI motherboard we've done previously. So what we're going to want to do is to format the drive, just to be on the safe side, and you can choose the FAT32 option. If it says exFAT, you want to change that to FAT32. It does have to be FAT32 for this particular process. Also, the allocation size you can set to default, and if there's anything in the volume label, I would strongly suggest removing anything just in case. It generally doesn't make a difference, but we're trying to eliminate any variables here. So by removing the volume label, that makes the drive essentially bare. So when we're ready, we're going to click on start. We're going to get a message here saying that it's going to erase all data. So obviously if there's anything on the drive that you want to keep, this is the time to move it off before you do the formats. But when you're happy, click on OK. And there we go, our format is now complete. So we've got a formatted drive, we've got our BIOS file. So now all we need to do is go back to our folder, find our BIOS file, and with this you can either drag and drop it or choose copy or cut. I'm going to choose copy. We'll minimize that, go back to our USB drive, right click and choose paste. And there we go. And we can just check that the file is the right size. So 32.772 kilobytes, which is about 32 megabytes. So that's absolutely fine. So we can close this window down now because we don't need that anymore. And we can remove our USB drive from the computer and go over to our little test bench and flash the BIOS. Okay, so now we're ready to flash our BIOS. So let's just orientate ourselves, or make sure we know what we're doing here and where we're plugging in things. So actually on the back of the I/O shield, there is actually a section there with a rectangle around it which says BIOS. So that is the port which we need to use for our USB flashback. So let's go ahead and plug that one in first of all. So that's inserted. And also it's probably worthwhile mentioning the BIOS flashback button is here at the bottom. Make sure with this one, some of the ASUS ones, they've got a slightly unusual click to them. So depending on how they're actually done, you may find there's a little bit of a knack of getting it to actually click properly. Sometimes you can press it and it feels like it's pressed, but it doesn't make the click. So yeah, a little bit of a cheap bit of plastic on there. Also next to it, there is a BIOS flashback LED. So that's going to be great for keeping an eye on the system to make sure it's actually flashing. Now, words of warning, when you're doing your BIOS flash, when you press the button, you should find it flash a couple of times on a slowish speed, and then it will change speed, either speed up or slow down. The whole process should take somewhere between 5 to 6 minutes, and at the end of that you should find that the system kind of reboots itself. The BIOS LED will extinguish, go out completely, and that means it's effectively done. Now, if for some reason you press the button and it flashes a couple of times and then stays on solid, or just flashes continuously, that means that there is either a problem with the USB stick or a problem with the file of the BIOS. Now again, it could be the fact that it needs a custom BIOS, it could be the fact that you've got the wrong BIOS, or you've renamed it inappropriately, or something's gone wrong along the line. Maybe the USB stick isn't compatible, all those types of things. So there's lots of things you can check to validate or to make sure that it's working. If you're getting that problem, just double check all the things. So the right file, formatted correctly, the right size drive, and possibly just try another drive as well. So there's some troubleshooting tips. Otherwise, we're pretty much ready. All we need to do is plug in power to the motherboard. So the power supply is connected to the mains and that is switched on, but the power supply itself is switched off on the back. So first of all, we'll plug in the 8-pin EPS connection. So that is the CPU one at the top there. So you'll probably get a close-up of this. So just plug that into the ports. There's an 8-pin and a 4-pin. You can actually use either for this particular process. As long as the board is getting power at the top there, that is absolutely fine. And then the next one is the 24-pin main power connector, which goes on the side of the motherboard. Again, you're probably being shown this from a close-up. And just plug that in and make sure that it is firmly seated and clicks into place. There is a little latch on most of these, so make sure it's latched in firmly. And that's it, we're kind of ready. So all we need to do now is to turn on the power supply, which we'll do now. And you should find, if there's no problems with the board and the power supply is working, you should find, first of all, that the RGB or addressable RGB on the Strix logo on the I/O shield is illuminated, which hopefully you can see on camera there. I can see it clearly. So that means we're getting power to the board, or 5-volt standby power. That is excellent. So now we're ready to start flashing. So we're going to find our USB flashback button, just press it in for a couple of seconds until the light starts flashing. So 1, 2, 3. And you should be able to see from both the front side there, or the back side in this instance, the flashing LED. And also you'll probably see it actually through the heatsink. So again, if you've got your PC in the case, and it's a little bit difficult to see what's going on at the back, you should be able to see the flashing LED through the fins of the heatsink. So all we need to do now is just to be patient, let it do its thing, and hopefully it will process all the way through to the end. Again, your power supply, when it's on, you may find that the fan spins. Some modern power supplies have got a zero fan technology, so if it's underneath a certain temperature or is drawing a minimal load, then the fan won't spin. So if yours isn't spinning, don't worry too much. It should be absolutely fine, but as long as the board's powered up and it appears to be going through a process, it should be okay. So I'll give you a close-up of what it looks like from the back here whilst it's flashing, and we'll come back when it's finalized. And there we go. So the speed has now changed after either preparing the USB system or reading the drive. I'm not too sure which way it does it, but you should see a distinct change in the speed of the LED. Again, just be patient and let it do its thing. And there we go. The light has now turned off. I didn't hear the power supply click off or the system reboot, but the BIOS flashback LED is off, so that means we should be absolutely fine. So there we go, the USB flashback LED has now turned off. The system technically is kind of still on, or at least in the standby state, because we've still got our power showing here, because we've got the RGB. So we'll turn off the power supply first of all, and wait for that to discharge. We can take out the USB stick, that'll be fine. And before you do anything, I would just wait for the board to completely discharge. You should see the LED go out very shortly. So I'll wait for that. You might not necessarily have to, but that is pretty much it. That is how to perform a USB BIOS flashback on your ASUS motherboard. And this covers a lot of the ASUS boards. The principle is pretty much exactly the same throughout the ranges. So if you've got an ASUS board, then you should be able to follow this along. Obviously, if yours is a different model, just make sure you go to the appropriate website for your specific motherboard model and get the correct BIOS for it, obviously. I think that is going to be pretty much it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, smash that like button. If you want to see more content of this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe, and don't forget to hit the chime notification. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. And the LED's gone off. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.